Today, my guest is the chief editor of Gundelik Azerbaijan newspaper, Shahveled Chobanoglu. Thank you for coming to our studio. Thank you. Tomorrow will mark the first anniversary of Enullah's arrest. How many court proceedings have been held in these 4 years? How was the general situation? How was his prison life? Last year there were over 35 hearings regarding Fethullah's, but the number is rising. Tomorrow will mark 4th anniversary of Fethullah's arrest, and 2 days later the first anniversary of the European Court of Human Rights judgment on his immediate release. Let's focus on the 4 years of imprisonment first. How was his prison life? Drugs possession charge has been advanced against him. The European Court of Human Rights has issued a decision. It changed many prisons. How is his situation, his health? Einullah Fethullah has had a very hard prison life. Some details of his imprisonment have not been publicized. It is not pleasant to him to publicize every difficulty he faces. Fethullah has been in danger in the whole 4 years. He has always faced threats of provocation. Azerbaijan readers have recently become aware of his situation. Last month, he stayed in a single cell on his own request, considering his safety. It's very harmful for human health, though. Fethullah not only was deprived of his freedom, but on every day of his imprisonment, he faced death threat. But these threats, dangers, charges failed to make Einullah give up his will for freedom. He still makes free speeches as a free man in hearings. However, a number of press outlets cannot risk to make free speech, though they are in freedom. I know many viewers will see this program. Let's welcome Einullah for his courage. I knew many historical persons that didn't give up their ideals, but I wouldn't imagine that our colleague and ordinary citizens could have such a great tolerance, courage. Einullah proved how tolerant Azerbaijanis are. International human rights organizations have an initiative group for Azerbaijan, which comprises over 20 organizations. They will hold a protest action before the Azerbaijani embassy in London to mark the 4th anniversary of Einullah's arrest. What can you say about it? And what about the international protection of Fethullah? Einullah has been awarded with many popular prizes. Nearly all well-known international human rights organizations have joined his defense. Einullah's issue is not only a local issue, it's an issue of freedom of expression. We were not aware of tomorrow's action. They arranged it without contacting us. There will be another action in Paris in support of Einullah, and another will be in Tbilisi. Yes, the voice of freedom is heard everywhere, be it court prison or tribune or any place. Einullah had stated that he will launch hunger strike on the anniversary of European Court of Human Rights decision on his immediate release. What about this strike? Will his friends support him? It should have been a one-day symbolic strike, but later we requested him not to strike, because he stayed in a single cell for a month. Therefore, we 20 journalists decided to strike in his support. So tomorrow, journalists and rights defenders will strike to attract public attention to his unfair 4-year imprisonment. Einullah has been recognized by international community as prisoner of conscience. Einullah is the only prisoner of conscience in prison at present. The other governments have released prisoners of conscience. How do you assess the other government's approach? Why doesn't it free the journalists despite appeals of international community, the decision of the European Courts of Human Rights? Why doesn't Azerbaijan government respond to the pressures? It is not a complicated issue. It stems from the government's nature. Government's approach to Einullah is the same with how it approaches to Azerbaijani people, Azerbaijan's natural resources, freedom of citizens, health and education in the country. Einullah is a brave journalist. He can bravely express his opinions. He is editor of two big newspapers of Azerbaijan. He has a great reputation, therefore, Azerbaijani authorities are interested in keeping this man in prison. Besides, it sends a message of fear to the Azerbaijani society. Azerbaijani ruling establishment does not have support of people. It is a step to protect itself, but it cannot protect it. Thank you for coming to our studio. The Azerbaijani people's struggle for freedom of speech began with Hasan Bezerdabi, continued with Jalal Mehmet Gulzade, Molla Nasreddin Magazine, Necef Bey Vezirov. It has been still continuing with late journalist Elmar Hüseyinov and imprisoned journalist Enullah Fethullayev.